So here we are on a Wednesday afternoon enjoying some time out from the office at our local lake up the road in regional New South Wales. Beautiful winter's day, and it's interesting, as we were driving up here I was having this distinct feeling that my mood had changed from quite rapidly from being okay with we're having a day off midweek to okay, I'm now feeling a bit anxious, got a whole list of things to do, I had my whole week planned and it wasn't going according to plan. So this sparked a really interesting conversation in the car on the way out with my husband. Hello Alan.
How are you?
I'm alright. And I thought it would certainly be worthwhile sharing some of the elements of this conversation that I was having with him as to the power of focus and why it is that we intend to do certain things and those things then fly out the window and other things come in, and it's just a battle that I believe we often face, but some more so than others. So Alan, you were talking about how your mind can throw you hand grenades. So let's just rewind and go back to where we were and how we started this all off and your wise words that you had for me.
So look, I think it's common that everybody suffers from a lack of focus, and focus comes and goes, and the way that our mind works predominantly is to protect us. That's what it was designed to do. And usually when people talk to me about losing focus, what's happening is during the day other thoughts are entering their mind and distracting them from the job that they want to do. And you know, there are things that you love to do, things that you like to do, things that you have to do, and things that you hate doing. And generally, particularly in business, it's the things that we hate doing are the keys to actually becoming very successful.
So sorry to stop you there. The things that you hate doing, are they the more challenging things?
Well, they're the things that challenge you personally. So for a lot of people, I come from a sales background, so for a lot of people, picking up a telephone and talking to a complete stranger terrifies them.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that story. I used to be like that myself.
Exactly. So, and yet, the truth is that that's key. It's a critical component to developing your business, is building relationships with people. But what really sits at the sort of the heart of that, you know, hatred of that particular thing is fear of being rejected, fear of being foolish, fear of making a mistake. And in essence, when we lose focus, it's nothing to do with, oh, I think my mind's just distracted. What it is there is a fear somewhere at the heart of it. And so your distraction during the day is your mind trying to protect you by letting you do things you like doing, like administration,
filing,
reading, you know, increasing your knowledge. And it's just, but that's cool, you can do that. And it distracts you away from the things you really should be doing, which is going out and seeing people face to face, making cold calls, you know, putting videos up on the internet.
Putting yourself out there.
And sometimes out there to be shot at. So, you know, with you and our conversation, it was clear to me that what's really at the heart of this is something that's at the heart of all of us, and that's fear of failing.
That's a big thing, fear. And I think a lot of people would probably not even want to recognize that that's really what it's all about.
Exactly.
I think they would mask it as something else.
Well, we give it different words like, I just lack focus today, or you know, doing that particular thing makes me a little uncomfortable, or look, I'll get to that tomorrow. They're all classic phrases, but they all mean the same thing. Your fear is getting the best of you, so your mind's trying to give you an opt-out, so it distracts you with other things. So the best way to overcome this, because that's the whole point of this conversation, is you need to have a little notepad next to your desk every day and a pen. And every time one of these thoughts pops into your mind, and you will recognize them. They'll come up in your mind like, oh, maybe I should do the filing, or, oh, instead of doing that call, I'll just do this other thing first. What you want to do is start writing down those thoughts as they appear, because often they come in and out of our mind so quickly that they're unconscious, and yet they drive our behavior.
And mood.
And mood, absolutely. And, you know, in your particular case, they lower your mood level. And as a consequence of that, you just don't get stuff done.
Yep.
And so you start beating yourself up.
Absolutely.
So writing them down takes these fleeting unconscious thoughts out of your mind and brings them very much into a conscious level.
Into life, basically.
Exactly.
You're naming them.
You're naming them and shaming them. So
okay.
once you have these written down, and you may end up with 15 or 20 in a day,
Yep.
because your mind is repetitive. It's repetitive. It keeps.
Oh, yeah.
Once you start writing them down regularly, then the next step is that as soon as they start occurring again, you recognize them straight away and you stop them.
Fabulous.
And once you stop those thoughts from affecting your behavior and affecting your mood, you start to become much more effective in your day and much more focused. It's really that simple.
Awesome. Well, that's certainly some great tips there for me anyway. I know that it's certainly going to be useful to you out there too.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Just in terms of if you find yourself losing focus, or you find your mood levels a little bit flat, there is always something else going on, and what you need to do is just recognize the thoughts that are flashing in and out of your mind, and write them down and name them. And then when they start flashing through your mind again, you can recognize them for what they are. They're just thoughts.
Yep.
They're not real. They're just stories, pictures, and words.
Stories. Now that's a great thing, because I often find that I have the same story being played over and over and over again, which, if I were to name it, it would probably be the I'm not good enough story, or words to that effect.
Yep.
So being able to write it down, and I think also you were asking me, once I'd recognized that my mood was a bit flat, you asked me to describe the mood, which, although wasn't particularly succinct, I did, and it brought on this sort of larger than life conversation really about it comes down to fear, and I certainly don't believe that I'm the only one out there that's feeling like this. And
I think anybody who starts a business, who starts it going online, who starts to do something new, as soon as you take one step in a new direction, the first thing that you'll encounter is your own personal fears.
Yeah.
Everyone is the same, and the stories that you replay in your head, have been there for many, many years. So they're habits of thinking. And once you start recognizing what your habitual thinking is, you've got much greater chance of starting to address that and recognizing it for what it is, which is just a habit, a habit of thinking negatively. And it's ingrained in us all, and it's only because your mind is trying to protect you. All it's doing is saying, oh, don't do anything new because you might fall over and break your arm. And, you might be made to be foolish, and I'm here to protect you. So, whenever you take a direction that is new, the first thing you'll come up against is resistance and fear. And the best way to get through it is just to recognize it for what it is. Just simply a story, simply words that are repeated in your mind and have been for many years. So once you start understanding that, you can start addressing that and you can keep moving forward.
So your mind is a pretty powerful thing, isn't it?
It is the single biggest challenge that you will ever come across in building a successful life. Forget business, forget generating revenue, forget marketing, forget dealing with bad website builders or whatever else you deal with. It is the single biggest challenge, is overcoming the negativity in your mind. Because once you crack that, you're unbeatable. You always have challenges in your life. But once you're able just to forget about that negative stuff, overcome the challenge and move on, you can't help but be anything but successful.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Speak to you later.
See ya.